guys, today's review is on the Real Techniques sculpting brush. This is one of two new brushes I found recently in at Walmart. I had already reviewed the concealer brush, which is this little, angle cut synthetic concealer brush. And this says features a wide angled head specifically designed to help create defined contours. And this brush is such a little chunk because like the bristles are not super long, right through here, but it's very, very dense and it does have a little bit of an angle going on. I want to show this alongside a brush many of you may be familiar with, my Sigma F84, which is the angled top kabuki brush. And you can see that's overall a little fuller. The bristles are longer, so they have a tendency to spread out a little more across the face. But as you would expect with the Real Techniques brushes, I mean, it's very, very soft and dense. You really get the feeling that they've packed in just the maximum amount of bristles in there. And I was really interested in it because while I love my e.l.f. small stipple brush for cream blushes and highlights, and I've even used this with cream bronzers and cream contours on occasion, I thought this brush with the density of the bristles, it would be nice for laying down a cream contour in a really exact area, because with blushes, and highlights, I kind of want them super diffused, and the contour, particularly in the cheekbone, you kind of just want it chunked right there in that one zone. And so I'm really liking this brush, especially for that reason, cream contours, and I feel like I've accumulated quite a few of those here recently. Some of them are in kind of like a jumbo stick form, and then I've also got this Lowlight Highlight Perfecting palette from BECCA. I got this not too long after Christmas, and I really wasn't loving this so much at first. You probably haven't even heard me talk about this yet. I was using several different kinds of brushes to apply this, including the BECCA giant one perfecting brush that they say can be used with anything, even, cream contours like that. And nothing really seemed to be applying it to my liking. And so I was kind of attributing my dislike of the appearance on the skin to just not liking this product. But now that I'm using it with this brush, I really am liking it. And there are a couple of application options, I think, with this. You could swipe into the product with your finger and kind of place it around on your face where you want it and then blend with this brush. But I kind of like going directly into the product with the sculpting brush, and then it just fits the hollow of my cheek so perfectly. I hardly have to do much extra blending with it, which is good, because if you do too much blending with a brush this dense, I think you're gonna possibly mess up some of the foundation underneath. But just placing this contour right there in the cheekbone, that's the best place for this brush. I used this around the hairline also, and it did well there. People who are wanting to maybe just do a light amount of contouring down the sides of the nose, could maybe use that there, but I think you might find this to be a bit oversized for that purpose. The low light in this palette is like really solid, and I think a brush this dense really works well with that kind of solid creamy consistency to blend it out and get it looking natural in the cheekbones. So yay for cream contouring, but another way I've used this is actually to blend out foundation. Like I said, with the F84, it doesn't quite spread as much, the bristles are shorter than they are on that brush, but this could totally work for foundation because that angle, let me tell you, it gets around the eye area really nicely. It can potentially do a little, circular motion buffing, not quite as effectively, I think, as my beloved Sigma F80 flat top kabuki. But if you were wanting or needing to multitask with this brush, it's really pretty darn good with foundation and also great with the cream contour. 2 thumbs up for this brush. If you haven't tried it out yet, I would definitely suggest it. Anytime I talk about a Real Techniques brush, people usually ask, well, can you do like an overall Real Techniques brush video? And I have done a blog in the past on the Real Techniques brushes I have, but now I'm starting to think I'm gonna need to update that or maybe do an actual full video on the different Real Techniques brushes I have, because my collection has grown somewhat and the vast majority of them I really do enjoy. So yay for this. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye.